I wish I could be with you all tonight in the fundraiser for Glasswaters Foundation. I would be much happier to be on Salt Spring Island with you than where I am right now, which is in the House of Commons in Ottawa, although I'm very glad you sent me to the House of Commons in Ottawa. Thank you very much. But tonight we're focusing on Lesotho. And I happen to have had some personal experience over a number of years through the coincidence, and this is someone that Gary and Andrea know quite well, named Peg Herbert, founded another small Canadian NGO that works in Lesotho called Help Lesotho. And my personal commitment and my daughter's, we decided that we would become sponsors for a young woman in a women's leadership program to make sure that young women got their educational opportunities. The program was specifically for young women who had had one or more parents die from HIV/AIDS. As you know by now, Lesotho has one of the highest rates in Africa of HIV/AIDS, and I think the very highest number of HIV orphans as a percentage of the total population, and a lot of grandmothers struggling. In our case, what we did with this little project was to have 16 girls housed and cared for, and all of their schooling, tuition, clothing, books, all their needs met by a sponsorship program. And it was also very personal. My daughter's name is Nkebeling. She's through the program now. It was a 5-year program. She ended up getting very skilled. Well, she learned English. She didn't speak English when it started. She can read and write in English, and she also has become a seamstress and knows how to use a sewing machine and make her own living. And this is really important. If you're looking for one place to dedicate scarce resources around the world, there's no better investment than educating particularly young women and girls. It reduces the fertility rate, and when population is an issue globally, and there's nothing else that works. I mean, you can talk about all these really draconian measures of moving into a community and saying thou shalt not have children, but the only thing that works, that respects human rights and that actually has demonstrable effects, is to ensure that there's increased literacy for women and girls, increased health care, as well as economic and political autonomy and freedom. So it's critical to see these educational efforts happen. For me, it was fantastic because Nkebeling and we exchanged letters back and forth, and with my daughter, we'd get her perspective on what she was doing. The letter that was the most meaningful to us was when we first started sponsoring, we were warned, please don't mention HIV/AIDS in the letters. There's quite a lot of stigma about talking about it, and we don't want you to raise it in your letters to the girls. And after a few years, it was at the point of education and awareness that their girls went for HIV/AIDS testing. And I opened my letter from Nkebeling. Sorry, she said, I had my HIV test. I know what it is. I know what causes it, and I don't have it. So we were pretty happy because we didn't know. We've been sponsoring her for years without knowing if she was HIV positive or not. And the news that she was HIV negative, and she's gone on to have a child, and he's HIV negative as well, which is really, really fantastic. So coming to terms with knowledge, knowing not just how to, do something to make a living, but know how to protect your life. These are really important things. And I'm now happily, I just moments ago gave my check for the monthly donation to sponsor through the Glasswaters Foundation as well. I encourage you to do the same. Have a nice author's night. I'm sending along some of my books, so they should be there. And please give generously. It's not a lot of money when you think about it.